Welcome back to another Spot on Chat. I'm Rebecca Monet with Zorakle Profiles. We provide profiling tools to franchisors and to franchise consultants that help facilitate a right fit between a prospective franchisee and a franchise system. So I have back for another Spot on Chat with me today, Laurie Spivack. She is the CEO, the president of Goodbye Graffiti USA. So welcome back, Laurie.
Thank you. Thank you.
I am so enjoying our conversation and obviously getting to look deeper into who you are, what makes you tick, so to speak. One of the curiosities I had is typically I think of the arts as a certain type of person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yet you went from being a dancer to being a franchisor. That seemed like a big bridge to cross. So tell me how that all worked for you.
All right. Well, I did take a few other steps in between, but but they all were going in that direction. Well, when I got to a point in my dance career, I decided that it was time to change careers. It was very, very difficult. It was very, there was a lot of pain involved because I identified so much of myself and my world as a dancer. I was so proud to be a dancer. That was who I was. That was what my life was all about. And to imagine myself doing something else, it took quite a while.
Yeah.
And while I was doing that self-examination, some of the things that I thought about was, well, okay, so I'm not going to be able to dance forever, but that part of being a dancer, there's more than that. And I was more than a dancer because I had created a production company, a nonprofit production company while I lived in New York. And I co-produced other people's work as well. So it was like kind of like a collective. And the skills that I learned doing that, I realized that those were all transferable skills that I could apply to really anything: the organizational skills, the people skills, the communication skills, the logistical skills that I had. Just there was a lot of things that I had learned by doing that I could do in practically anything else.
Absolutely. You know,
So,
your point about identity, I think, is a really big one. That we do kind of see what we do as who we are.
mm-hmm.
So to separate, that and say, I'm not just a dancer. I have these other attributes and skills. What can I do with them when I'm ready to let go of being a dancer? So it's a self-reflective process that you went through. So then what happened? Okay, so you were self-reflecting, you understood, okay, I got these other skills, I ran a production company, I ran this collective. Then what happened?
Well, while I was doing that, this was while I was becoming engaged and thinking about starting a family with my fiance. And the other thing that we did was we started a painting company. So he was the painter and I became the business arm of the company. So I was able to apply some of those skills to that. And we got married, we had kids, and all that stuff. And we also had a small real estate business too that we ran, which we kind of did the same way, that he did all the renovations and did all that sort of physical stuff. And I ran the business side. I was the one in touch with the people, the tenants and all that. So I was able to develop that even more. And then I got connected to Goodbye Graffiti. And I became a franchisee before, actually it was a licensee before I became the franchisor.
Wow.
So all of those things just built on themselves.
Yeah. So applying your skills from running a production company then turned into two other businesses, a painting business plus this real estate business, where you could apply your people skills, your strategic thinking, your decision making, all of those kinds of skills to a whole different ball of wax. And then that led you to Goodbye Graffiti. So I like that you were originally a licensee or franchisee, and then you chose to go bigger, to take on a bigger challenge, right? And you decided, I'm going to grow America. You know, I'm going to.
Well, I'll tell you the story about that. So I was in a program called 10,000 Small Businesses. I don't know if you know about it. Do you know what it is?
I don't.
It's like a abbreviated MBA program, and it's run by Goldman Sachs Foundation and Babson College, which is a preeminent business college in the United States. And their main school is in Boston, and then they have other Babson colleges around the country. So I was accepted into that program. And one of the things that they wanted us to do was to create something to, because our businesses were our test businesses while we were learning all these things. So develop some sort of growth strategy for your business, whatever that looks like. And at first I thought I would go to Spokane, Washington and open up a Goodbye Graffiti there. And when I thought about the challenges with that, I didn't want to do that. It just sounded like no fun at all. So then the next thing I thought, well, what if we did Goodbye Graffiti around the whole country? And then I was like, oh, I can do that.
That works.
And so I negotiated a license with the original franchisor in Canada, and now I'm the franchisor in the United States.
That's
so
amazing.
the company's in its 22nd year, so it's a developed, mature franchise concept, but it's new in the United States.
Yeah. So
and it's really, really needed as well.
Oh my gosh, you know, it's so interesting. When I first met you and we're talking about graffiti, I'm like, I guess I never really paid attention because I have a remote business, right? And all of my team works remotely. So I'm not thinking buildings and walls and things of that nature. And then I went on holiday to Portugal. And I noticed all of the graffiti, some of which, of course, was like incredible art. You know, I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, don't cover that up. And others was, you know, pure, I guess you call it tagging or whatever it is they do. And it was violent and unkind and ugly, right? And so all of a sudden, once I met you, I'm like, I have all of these awarenesses that I didn't have before. So graffiti is a big deal everywhere. And I had no idea until I got to visit with you a few years ago.
Yeah. Well, we're making it, and we're bringing it to the United States, and every city, every medium and large city needs to have some sort of graffiti program to keep it controlled. It's never going to go away. So it's job security.
It's job security. And many of your clients are repeat clients, right? That you know, you got to get in there every so often because that's a building that regularly gets hit with graffiti.
Yep. And our main client are property managers. So usually they're the property management firms. They could be just one person, but there's several of them in this area where they're a large company and there's several property managers who work within that company. So we do a job for one property manager, then we're a referral for them, for the other property managers, when they get graffiti, then they recommend us. And we've just built the business. I have over 2,000 customers.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
just amazing. So
Yeah.
you act as the prototype because you are both the franchisee and now the franchisor in the US. So you have firsthand experience of taking a city and building this incredible business.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and you have firsthand experience of taking skills from other businesses and from your dance career and applying it to graffiti removal. So
Yeah. Yeah. I know that's a big stretch, huh? But
it
it's
is.
not. I mean, from the outside, it looks like one, but to be successful in business, there are certain core, I think, temperament, besides skills, temperaments that will help you be successful. And some of those I happen to possess. So
Yeah,
I capitalize on that.
absolutely. And as you
Yeah.
know, that's the business we're in, is to measure those attributes besides the hard competencies, but the attributes
Yes.
of tenaciousness, like we talked about, and decision-making skills, so someone can be successful.
Yeah.
So, so Laurie, again, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I'm going to have you back for another Spot On Chat.
Okay. Looking forward to it.
Yay.
Bye.